Welcome to another beautiful day here in Washington, D.C. And today I will be taking you on my tour towards the National Mall. So for today, I will just be showcasing to you the Smithsonian Museum, the head office, and some of the garden, or a little bit of the garden beside it. Okay, and in the coming videos, I will start telling you or showcasing to you the different museums in the National Mall. All right, so on my way towards the Smithsonian Museum, okay, I will be passing through the Capitol and then towards the National Mall area. So we might be thinking that the National Mall is like a shopping center. No, it's actually what they refer to as the series of Smithsonian museums around that area. So that whole big area where you can see several museums is actually called the National Mall. And this is the First Street Northwest. So here in DC, they name the streets, or they basically just divided the whole area into like four quadrants. So you have northwest, northeast, southwest, southeast. So all of the street names at the end will have northwest, northeast, southeast, or southwest. So you have to take note of that, so that if you need to go somewhere, not just the address, but you need to know where is it exactly in the DC area. So here is at the back of the Capitol, going towards there. We see a lot of people actually being here. Normally, this place doesn't have that much people, but since this was a weekend, so you would see a lot of people, especially look at that one, right? So many people on the grounds. And of course, this is the famous food truck. Yes, very colorful ones. Mostly they sell hot dogs and other easy food to eat. Okay, so this is the sign towards the Natural History Museum, American History Museum, and other museums in the mall. Of course, from here you can already see the Lincoln Memorial statue. Okay, so as I said, this is a weekend, so you can actually see a lot of people. There's actually a 3K marathon going on that time. When I was here, it was actually the start of fall, so the trees have started to lose the leaves. Okay, and you see that the leaves have turned from green to yellow. So at the end of, or before I left actually DC, you would see that most of the trees eventually no longer even have leaves as the weather becomes colder. Finally, I arrived at the Smithsonian Museum head office. As I said, it looks like a castle, right? Yes, but before I went inside, I saw that there was a garden beside it. Okay, and this was called the Catherine Folger garden. Okay, but before that, I went through some of the buildings beside it, like this one. It's the Arts and Industries building, which have been the venue for so many amazing events in the US history. And of course, there was this other museum that closed in July 6th of last year. It's called the Futures Museum. So I wasn't able to see that anymore. Okay, so this was the garden I was talking to you about, the Catherine Dullen Folger Rose Garden. Okay, so I don't think I was able to capture how beautiful this garden is. Okay, of course. Okay, so there were a little bit of nice words on some of the signs over there. That yellow rose, of course, I love yellow, right? So there you go. Yes, and now we're nearing the Smithsonian Visitor Center entrance. All right, so you are being welcomed, or you are welcomed by this very high ceiling arch. Okay, and then there's the door towards the entrance. So on one side, so you will see all the names of all the benefactors, all those who have actually donated to make this, or for the upkeep of the Smithsonian museums in the US, specifically here in the DC area. And on the other room, Smithsonian Crypt. Okay, so that is actually where Mr. Smithsonian, or Smithson, is actually buried. All right, so and then in the middle of, when you enter through the building, you see this like replica of the whole National Mall, and it's super nice because you can just press like the buildings themselves or the streets themselves, and most of them will light up. Most, because some aren't working, but for most of them, if you press either on the roof of the building, like this one, okay, it's supposed to light up. Okay, so let me see, that's the Holocaust Museum there, that's Independence Avenue, so it lit up. So I was just like a kid. Okay, so that's the Free Gallery, the Smithsonian Castle, where I am at that point, African Art Museum. That's the arts, didn't get to see that. So the Air and Space Museum, the American Indian Museum, and so on and so forth. So, and then that's the road towards the capital where I actually live, right? So from where I live, or from where I stayed when I was there, to the National Mall would take me about 13 to 15 minutes of walk one way. So I really had a lot of exercise. That's why it was really very good for my health. That was the Asian Museum. Okay, and of course I actually got hungry, so everywhere in the National Mall you will see like small kiosks for food. Okay, so this one is what I ordered. That's French fries, soda, and a burger, a chicken burger. Okay, and then afterwards, okay, so immediately in front of where I ate, is actually the National Museum of Natural History, and I will be taking you to that amazing, one of my favorites, tomorrow. Okay, so again, thank you so much for watching, and don't forget to comment and subscribe.